Hello, hello. Can you hear us?
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, I'm just checking the settings to make sure you can hear both of us well. Might need to. Yeah, good.
How's the sound, everyone?
Yeah, all good. I might need to put you up just a tiny bit if I can. Where's my mouse? Lost my mouse. Audio just a bit up, and then back to the chat. I think it should be fine. Yeah. How long could you possibly wait for this to start? I mean, you don't have to wait anymore because we are here and we are live.
Yeah, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Timberborn Holiday stream with Jon and Miami.
Yeah, that's
That's
us. Yes, so, we dropped the update, yeah, the update number 1, which if you played if you played the experimental, you've seen most of it, but now we kind of upped it and made sure that it all works as intended. Obviously, there might be fixes still, but it's basically up to a state that we're happy with it. So, Merry Christmas.
yeah, that's the plan for today. We're gonna show you all the cool features that we are happy with, because there are no features that we are not happy with, I think.
Yeah.
And we'll go through the cool new stuff from update 1.
Yes.
Then maybe we'll be able to harass Jan into building something cool for all the peasants' pleasure. And by that I mean I'm a peasant that wouldn't be able to build something like that. So
We'll see. We'll see.
let's hope we get some pro advice from Jan.
Yes.
And well, let's jump right into the game.
I will load the view. I'm gonna move us to where are we in game? Can you see? Come on. Yeah, okay. You can see I'm gonna load the stream save called show off because there's a lot of things to show off. So we have a second before it loads because it is a bigger save. It still should be fairly quick. Yes, but I think throughout the stream we usually answer questions if any come up. So feel free to ask us. Well, not anything, but we'll be able to answer most of things to the best of our abilities.
Yeah, we're monitoring the questions from Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. So whatever platform you choose, you're good to go and ask questions.
Yeah, I think we're about to.
We already had one question before we actually begin playing. Was this artwork a hint that fireworks are coming to Timberborn? I'm not sure if it's a hint. Fireworks may come to Timberborn one day. This was mostly about the happiness that fills us right now with update 1 being available. Yeah,
it was a big. Oh, I forgot about the alerts. I just had a wow, and I forgot that I changed that. Yes. So yeah, this is the big settlement that we have right here. There's a bunch of everything, a lot of new stuff that we will be showing off. And if you've seen our teaser of this update, you might recognize some of the bits because this is the same save that I stolen from Michal and just took to make something better.
And actually, I took that save from Paolo, I believe.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, this is the work of a few members of our team.
Yes. Sound kind of worse than usual. Is it like low or just like wonky? Because if it's low, I can put it up, but if it's like mechanically weird, then I'm not sure how much I can do with that. I'm just, I'm the tech guy here, so I'm just making sure.
Let me adjust my microphone.
Sure, yeah, it could be that as well. But I hear you okay, so so it could be somewhere between Discord and streaming that just kind of loses some quality over time. But yes, this map has been through basically the whole team at some point. But I think it's fine, so we can continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about now? I've just changed my microphone
you
device.
A bit louder, but I think that's fine. Yeah, I can just put it down a bit.
Okay.
Yeah. If you suddenly hear like a sudden lack of in-game music, that I had to change the window. Wait, can I have that? I should do this probably. Okay. Because I might be changing the windows to like do something technical, so at least you might still have music. Okay, yeah, I think we are in this save that's been through the whole team. There's a lot of things going on, but you know, a lot of things to show off. So
I think we could begin with the infinite metal chain, which is something that people asked us to add for quite a while.
yes.
We've got the underground ruins now, so
Yes. Yeah,
let's go there.
Yes, because previously the only way to get some metal would be to place place a scavenger flag, get a beaver to build it, and then grab the metal from ruins. But now, what we can do is, I'm gonna try to find one. Yeah, there's one right here. You can find underground ruins in the wild. So yeah, it is a buried ruins of full metal scraps, basically. So it is an infinite source of metal, but you cannot just pop in like with a scavenger flag and start grabbing from stuff from it. You have to build a mine on top of it. Yeah. So we have a mine built somewhere along, yeah, right here. So this is a mine. It is a building that you can only place on top of the underground ruins. And once it is built, you have a lot of workers that pop in and start grabbing scraps from underground, whatever it may be. Who knows? I'm not smart enough of a beaver to know what was that big metal thing underground, but there's a lot of scraps there.
Yeah, and it should be noted that depending on the faction, your mine will look and behave differently. Because, as you could probably guess, the Iron Thief are quite efficient when it comes to getting iron and other metals from the ground.
Yes, so yeah, this is a mine, and the Iron Thief have what is called an efficient mine, which is a bit taller, a bit more bulky, and grabs a bit more metal because this has two scrap metal that it produces because it uses all the resources to create that infinite source of metal. So you know there is some drawbacks, but at least there is an infinite source of metal now. So Iron Thief get more scrap from the same amount of resources, and they also have a second recipe, if I remember correctly. That is in game, right? You're checking now, right?
That would be. Oh crap.
I'm now unsure if that was just something we tested and didn't go through, or if it actually went through. Yeah, okay, they're saying that went through. So yeah, the more efficient mine has a second recipe that uses dynamite. So they just pop some sticks in there, go out, and then grab whatever has fallen down. Okay, I wasn't sure for a second because I think I saw one of the files, like one of the texts in the wrong file. Yeah, it has the second recipe.
Yep.
I was like, oh no, they spoiled something. Yeah, but yeah.
Just to cut the gossip, we are not hell bent on making the Iron Thief overpowered. It's not that we love Iron Thief and we do not love Folktales. We love them both equally. And some time ago, we heard from the players that the Folktales are better and the Iron Thief were neglected, but that's not true. Now the tables have turned, and we hear that we love the Iron Thief too much, and we love them both equally.
Yeah, I think when this is a basically good state, when you kind of buff something or nerf something, and kind of the players kind of go this way, then this way, then this way. I think it's a good balance. I think that they're probably around the same, but like just one small change or something can kind of tip it, because that means that they're probably on a similar level then. It's kind of a good feedback for us, seeing that it might be a good balance. Another thing that we changed with metal that we're probably gonna was the next thing on the docket is the smelter, because beforehand the beavers would just grab the scrap metal and throw it into a shredder and just kind of make it into blocks. But now what they do is they actually smelt it. So we have a new building that replaces the shredder called Smelter, and this is the first building that actually uses both fuel and energy. So obviously, it just adds a bit more variety, a bit more. It makes this ever so slightly more difficult to kind of, if you have a mine somewhere out in the desert and you mostly get your power from water wheels, then just like here, you have to create a giant chain of power shafts.
Actually, our chat is already debating whether we like iron tooth or fog taste more. So to tip the scales, let's go to the new resources, the new plants that we have.
Yes, I'm gonna start with the tree because I'm gonna find where it is. It's right here. What we have added is chestnuts. We have added chestnut trees, which kind of, when it comes to logs, they kind of slot between pines and maples. So they give you 4 logs. But we also added a thing that wasn't there before, which is being able to both cut the trees and gather resources from them. So we've added the chestnut trees, which give you, as you can imagine, chestnuts. So those chestnuts then can be grilled in a grill. So there's grilled potatoes, there's those two, but I can just change the recipe and have grilled chestnuts right here. So we have a gatherer here, which there's no one there, but there could be someone there grabbing the chestnuts because they are gathered by a gatherer flag. Well, by a gatherer at the gatherer flag. And then you can send them to the grill to get grilled chestnuts, which is another food, basically. We've added a few foods. And because we can now do both of cutting trees and getting resources from them, that allowed us to move to the other trees that we have and to add something new to them. So I can talk now about, let's talk about maples, because beavers, people think North American beavers, people think Canadian beavers, people think Canada, people think maple syrup. So this was kind of a natural meeting point. So we knew that at some point we have to add maple syrup, and that was a perfect point. So right now, we have added a new building. Well, the round just started. We have added a new building, which is kind of very like right here, which is a tapper shack. And the tapper, as you can imagine, comes to trees, taps them or does whatever, and gets the like kind of liquid from the tree, which when it comes to maple is the maple syrup. Now you might want to keep maples because they're a great source of logs. Not as great right now because we also changed some numbers, so they take a bit longer to grow, but still the best source of logs. But they also give you maple syrup, which you can use in bakeries to create maple pastries, which takes the wheat flour that we have, and then use that with conjunction with maple syrup and create maple pastries. So again, that's another source of food for you hungry beavers. And also hello Paolo, our programmer, is in the chat for YouTube. Yeah.
He's the one who created the original version of this map before it was changed by me and Jon.
Yeah, it's a simulacrum of a simulacrum, just a copy of a copy at this point.
Yep.
Yeah, I've added like a lot of things here.
Speaking of other resources that we can get from the trees, it's not only about the food, because we have also updated the pines, which are now the source of
pine resin. Yes. So yeah, as you can see right here, those are the trees that are filled with resin that the Tapper Shack can get, which is so this because it makes sense. It's the same basically. It's kind of resin when it comes to both. So the Tapper Shack now can also grab the pine resin. So obviously you can prioritize which one you want. It has some pine resin in the warehouse that it has. And then we can use those, this pine resin to create treated planks. What we have here is that's the wrong side, the new building, which is the wood workshop, which uses resin to treat planks, to kind of make them harder, more water resistant, and just like basically better plank 2.0, and which then we can use for future the buildings that we have already added, but also future buildings. It's basically like the next step, because we want to keep as much of our setting lumber as possible, so that was just a great option to do that.
When we are at this part of the map, could you scroll down a little bit, as I want to point out something that Pavel, the original creator of this map, did with the what's the name of that meme building we have, with the irrigation tower.
Yes.
We're quite aware of the meme status of the irrigation tower.
There's one right here.
And you can, and on the other side of the road, you can see what Pavel built, and it's a common workaround to the irrigation tower's inefficiency. So just that we're well aware of that, and we want to do something with that.
Yeah, at some point we will get to fixing the irrigation, buffing it somehow or changing it completely to make it better, basically, because right now basically what you have right here is a better option. It gives more water per water, gives more moistness per water. So we will get on it at some point this next upcoming year.
Let's move to the aquatic plants if we are talking about water.
Yes.
Because we have also added a new type of plants that can grow.
Yes. So we have added two new new plants which are planted by a new type of farmers, the aquatic farmers. So what we have here is the aquatic farmhouse. I have to use different angles because there's a lot of buildings in the way. But this is the aquatic farmhouse, which specializes in water crops, but works basically the same as our previous farmhouse. But what we have here, those are spotted docks. This is a plant which has the scientific name of Napha lutea or something like that. Napha lutea, I think. But it is a type of lily, basically, and it can be consumed technically also by humans, but I think beavers also like those. As you can see, we have a very handsome fella right here planting spotted docks in the water, and once they grow up, you can see those very characteristic leaves and yellow flowers. And because it is a food source, it is a crop, it gives you spotted dock, which just the plant basically, and then you can also grill it in the grill. So you can grill potatoes, you can grill chestnuts, or you can grill spotted dock. which gives you obviously grilled spatterdock, which is another food. And we also have another one, which I will try to move and see if I can find some. There's some, I think just that. There are some spatterdogs and there are some cattails right here. They are very characteristic. We have those big kind of, some people call them hot dogs or like corn dogs. But yeah, it's a very characteristic plant that usually is like near shores, and we thought that would be a perfect aquatic plants. So yeah, it gives you cattail roots, because what both beavers and humans can do is actually turn the cattail roots into flower. Well, this building actually does wheat flour, but we can also change and do cattail flour. So basically a different type of flour. And then with this cattail flour, we can move to a bakery. I'll try to find a bakery somewhere, because this is a big mess. And instead of bread, make cattail crackers, which obviously use cattail flour. So this is again a new food, a new resource, a new thing for the beavers to eat, basically.
Yeah, and to answer the questions that keep popping up in our chats, you can expect more resources of different types, so don't worry about that. And about the question from Sat0 from Twitch, for example, is there a plan for tweakings in the required resources in some older buildings? Definitely. We will keep balancing the game, or actually Jon will be one of the main.
I'm the main person that changes the numbers, basically.
Yeah. As the game evolves, you can expect us to change the requirements when it comes to the building costs and operating costs of the buildings. You can expect much more content from us, so it will be natural for us to just balance that out.
Yes, I'm just preparing for later, because I just realized that's not well prepared here for later, but okay, we'll work on that later.
Alert, we're gonna build some pumps later.
Yes, but I just realized I didn't put any energy to the second one. We'll see how it goes.
But before we get to the pumps, let's talk a little bit about the each system that has changed and that led us to add more attractions, for example.
Yes, so previously we only had 3 attractions. As I watched the Beaver spin, I can explain it nicely. So we knew that even before the release, that was something that we wanted to do, but just didn't get enough time before the early access. But afterwards, we could focus on it. Was the need groups, basically. So if I press a Beaver, I managed to click on him while he was spinning. Previously, the needs were just like hunger, thirst, whatever. They were all in a single group, let's say. So what we wanted to do is put them into groups, and this allows us to kind of make it a bit more. What's the word I want to say? Add more variety to the needs. So we have the basic needs, which are basically not all required, but all just like the basics that you should get all the beavers on. Then we have a group of nutrition, which is all the type foods. So it allows us to kind of add more food and makes it easier for us to add new foods, basically, because previously it was nutrition 1, 2, and 3, and now it's just a group of nutrition, and in that we can add different foods. So that makes it easier for us to add new resources, add new foods. And then we changed the aesthetics into a group, so then we can add a few different types of decorations, maybe be it like statues, roofs, shrubs, whatever. We can kind of put them into groups instead of or we could make them all separate, however we wanted. But like there is a group of aesthetics, so it all can go under that. Yeah, and then all basically didn't change. We just changed the names, but we can now add more more monuments, and it would make sense instead of having all 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, and whatever, however many. Same with fun, knowledge, and spirituality. That those were previously just for the building. So it was fun was carousel. The spirituality was the temple, and campfire was social life. But because we added new buildings that work with that, it made sense to add more. So for fun, we have Lidos, and mud baths, which are right here, but no one's using them right now. Okay, it was just bubbling for a sec there. I guess they were just checking it. For spirituality, we added shrines, which I'm not sure if there's a shrine here. But I can just...
Like next to the mine. I think we had some next to the mine.
Oh, where?
The other one. They're closer to the center.
This one.
Oh no, we had them, but then we changed the model and they disappeared. Okay,
okay.
So...
Well, still, I can just basically place a few, and they're gonna build them in a jiffy, basically. It is just a very small version of a temple for a single beaver. So we added new buildings for spirituality. We could add new decorations, and and basically this all allows us to make more content, basically.
And as you can see with yesterday's hotfix, the new content sometimes needs to be rebalanced, because when we added the shrine, it was slightly overpowered, and now it's not.
Yes, I think when basically making a building, sometimes you just reuse things. So I just probably grabbed the need from the temple and forgot to change the numbers later on. So it just happens. So later you have to be like, oh, that's someone noticed that, so we have to fix that in a hotfix or a patch later on.
Yeah, and the feedback that we get it often leads us to make even more sweeping changes, as evidenced by the Observatory, which actually began its life as another attraction.
Yes.
And it ended up being a new science building.
Yes, so I wanted to grab a beaver, but they're all asleep right now. There's one sleeping on the... Why is the homeless beaver? Huh? Oh, he's not homeless, I guess he just wanted a night under the stars. Oh no, there is a homeless... Huh. Okay, that's weird. That is something to check out for later. But previously, as you can see, the knowledge is the only group with only a single need in there with books, because previously we added those right here, observatories, and we thought that would be a very good knowledge building, basically, because beavers look up into the sky, learn or just gain knowledge, which it is kind of a weird maybe stat, but still. But there was a lot of feedback about people being like, oh, I thought it was like a building that would produce power, not power, science. So after hearing that enough times, we're like, okay, maybe we need to change it. And we were thinking in general about a building that would generate more science, be a bit more powerful version of the normal inventor. So it just worked out basically perfectly. So we added, we made it into a building that now produces science points, and faster and better than the inventor. So you can now place them. We also had to make some changes to make them cheaper at some point, because while being more powerful, it was still more powerful than the inventor, but the cost kind of made it a bit weak. So we have to change it again. So it's an ongoing process, but I think I am at least happy with where it is right now.
And it's worth noting that it's actually a building that helps you get closer to one of the highlights of update 1, which is the mechanized water pump.
Yes.
Which is a high-end building that needs a moment before it can be built. But once it is built, it can really help you with developing your settlements. So how about going and checking the mechanized water pump?
Yes, as you can see, it needs 100 gears, 50 treated planks, and 50 metal blocks. So you need to get a lot of things moving before you can get to there. And it also requires a lot of science points. Obviously, right now I can't see because I have it unlocked, but we have a single water pump right here, which is made to basically create this giant basin of water. As you can see, we have 2 large windmills powering it because it just makes sense. And then we have a triple floodgate that I can just at any point if we're running low on water, because we are technically in the drought, but you couldn't tell really. I could at any point just move down and get some more water here and everywhere basically. No, speaking of, it needs deeper water. I think we are a bit low on water here, but it's not that important. We can manage without it. But yeah, it just continuously, well powered, pumps water up to a certain point, so it won't go over. Basically, it won't go overboard, even though the tap is a bit higher. Yeah, as you can see, it stopped right now because the water is full. It is full of water. But if I were to drop some, it would then move. In the meantime, I can do this. Yeah. I don't know if
yeah, the mechanized water pump is also another example of how we changed things because of the feedback that we got from the experimental branch. So here's a shout out to everyone who contributed while the update was being prepared during its time on the experimental branch. The mechanized pump started in a slightly different form. It also had a slightly different model, but then it changed according to the feedback. And this is what we have now. And I think we can ask Jon to build some new water pump to show us how this actually works and how can it be used to help you with droughts, which technically are now in progress, right?
Yes, there's 2 more days of drought. But what I have right here is I made a little, as you can see, a space for the water to go. So what I can do is unpause those, so they will start building those, and then I also need to think on how to put energy up there, so that will take me a second. So while they build it, I will try to figure it out, because I need to put power up. I think easiest would be to put this like so, because then I can go up, then I can go up again here. It's gonna be a triple. I need to, yeah, it's math basically.
I'm really glad I'm not the one doing this, because I always get lost when I'm trying to figure out stuff like this.
Yeah,
it's cool, but it's also difficult.
Yes, I think I got it, and then I need to put a T shaft right here, and then I do this, this, and here. Put the 2 turns here, and then once they finished with this, and they build this, I can build 2 more shafts here. So we'll see. They have metal blocks. I think they should have the metal blocks to build it. Metal blocks. Yeah, they have more than enough of everything. We just need maybe more builders. Do we have any? We don't have homeless. Do we have any unemployed? We do have some unemployed beavers, so might be smart. Well, also it's nighttime, but might be smart to build another builder's hut with priority. So it's just gonna take them a second, but this will allow us to get more builders in the long run. So yeah, this is basically done, and we've got 4 more workers to go in. We're almost finished with our first water pump, which actually might not work because we are in the drought and I don't think there's enough water in there right now. But by the time we're finished, by the time they're gonna finish everything else, I think, yeah, we have our first water pump. But yeah, we still have what, day and a half, so we might have to wait a second before it all kind of start working. But once it does, it's gonna look nice.
I think we can answer some questions from the chats.
Yes.
Questions or comments actually, because one of the first questions / comments was awesome hair, Jon.
Yes,
so,
thank you. It's
and the question or comment was, I wish to see your cat again. And I guess this is to me, but my cat is at the moment on my lap sleeping, so I'm not gonna disturb him.
Yeah, I have a beaver right here. That's what I can show my beaver.
Are there any plans to add workshop support so we can show maps we have made?
I think in general, yes. This is something we want to do at some point before the full release, but we don't know when, basically.
Yeah, but it's definitely on our radar. We know that people want a simpler way of sharing the maps and mods. Speaking of which,
yes.
So yeah, we want to do it. So we want to do this at some point, definitely.
Okay, I still need to get there. So I think if I do.
Yeah. Another question about the workshop: is modding planned? Yes, as we said, that's the goal, but we don't have any specific plans in terms of the timing. But if you go to our Discord, for example, you will find a very active channel called Modding and Whatnot, and you will discover that people have made so many awesome mods that really change the game. So if modding is your thing and if you're not afraid of breaking stuff, that's definitely the place to go.
Yes, just remember, if you do mod the game, please do not send us crash reports, because that's probably on the mod part and not ours, or something between. So it won't do as much, really.
Yeah, I'm not sure what are the percentages, but I think Pavel has shared some insight about that, and there's quite considerable number of crash reports that come from people that have just modded the hell out of the games, and then are quite surprised that something broke.
Yeah, it's like we can't really do much then. Okay, that's almost.
If you could add anything you wanted into Timberborn, what would it be?
That's a good question. I mean, I'm always up for.
Be careful with your answer, because if you say about something, then someone will 100% take it for granted that it has to be done.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always up for more attractions. I know that at some point we need to do some reworks, basically, for some bits, and after that I want more attractions. Catapults, obviously, yeah, catapults.
Yeah, that's the most important part.
Yes. Okay. I think we have it. I think this is connected, and this is connected. So once we have enough water here, then we can start thinking. Oh no, they don't have enough water. I just realized. Adding new routes to here. Water. Probably more guys running this as well, because I just realized that they do not have water at all, and I think they just run out from here. So, oops. Catapulting what at what? Well, yeah, high-speed goods transportation system, or high-speed beaver transportation system, really. You know, if you have one district over here and then another over there, just. I didn't think this through. I hope they get some water.
I think we lost the audio for a moment, but I think it's good now.
Yes.
Okay. In the meantime, while Jon is trying to figure out how to provide the beavers with water, let's go over some other questions. Are there any plans to make a structure that consumes metal for some product or benefit? I guess this is somehow related to getting the materials back from the distracted buildings as well, destroyed buildings. Sorry. So
yeah.
we don't have any promises here to make, but requests for some sort of way to get some materials back when you decide to destroy a building. We heard those voices, and I'm sure that we're gonna do something about that at some point. Another question is about upgrading roads. Can we get the roads that provide beavers with means of moving faster?
I think it would be well within the game's mechanics to do that, but I think it is the case of kind of figuring how to do it well, because you know it would basically mean that there are some like snags that we have to kind of work out, but I think it will be possible at some point. So it might become, yeah, there might be wooden paths or maybe metal paths at some point, but who knows? We have to kind of work that out, and we'll see how high it is on our priority list.
This is a question to Jon as well. Are more maps planned?
Probably. I mean, we probably will make. I will make more at some point. I say we. I'm the main person that makes maps. I don't think anyone touched a map editor in the team except for me since the game's release, and even before then. Maybe to like after when Pavel was changing UI, but yeah, I'm the main person that does maps. So I would say probably at some point, yes, we will. We will make some maps and we'll add some more maps. Maybe I will take the Helix Mountain and just kind of work on it to make it a playable map. More playable, kind of polish it. That's the word.
Yeah, actually, when we had the Helix Mountain contest, I think our players proved that this map is very playable. We had so many great creations. If you haven't seen the results of our map building, our city building contest, be sure to check them on Steam, for example. We had so many great contributions, and the maps that people created were just awesome. And it's great to see how many different settlements can be built on a single map, such as Helix Mountain. So
yeah,
we really hats off to our players and their creativity. And now I see that the water is back.
Yes, we are. The water is moving back, so I'm just waiting for it to get to a point where we can start pumping it, because the water is low here. But at least our beaver survived. I saw a single guy with a barrel on its back get to the drop-off point just in time. So they are fine on water for now. Later, once the water goes up, they can start pumping again. And we will see. We will see how it goes once the water moves in. It does take a sec, but it will be worth it, I hope. Yeah, I think we can still answer some questions for a sec.
There's so many questions, and so many questions we just can't answer. For example, do you think it's time for a new faction or factions?
I mean, it could always be time, but we basically have to kind of sit down and start prototyping and stuff like that. So it is an effort, because yeah, it also adds a lot of different things, because we have lodges, we have barracks, so we have to make new models for a lot of different buildings that are unique. So that also kind of adds to it. I think we are pumping water. Yeah, we are pumping water. So once it reaches a certain height, it will pump the water up here as well. So in a second we will get water here. Yeah, I saw a question. Have you considered adding animations to certain Beaver actions, talking around the campfire instead of staring into space or reading books on a bench instead of just consuming them in a stockpile? Not necessary additions, but it makes the city feel so much alive. Yeah, this is kind of the thing I was talking about when it came to attractions. We kind of have to, at some point, do some changes to our animation system to make it easier on the computer and stuff like that. And then we can add more animations and more interesting animations. So then once we do that, I think we'll be able to do a bit more interesting stuff.
Yeah. The best part of those questions is that people ask about the new features, but they should know that we are also working on the less obvious stuff, because you must remember that Timberborn is a post-apocalyptic game. It's kind of a teaser right now, but we have some ideas to make that original setting even more original. So it won't be just about being a post-apocalyptic game. We have some ideas to make it a truly unique experience, if you will, with beavers and even more specific post-apocalyptic things. Okay. Let's put it that way. Okay. I'm not sure if I said anything reading those sentences. But...
I have to think if I know what you're talking about. I'm like, what are you talking about exactly? The Beaver hood of steel.
That if I say too much, that I would probably
give it away.
Get fired right away on the.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Bye bye.
Yeah, more questions about extra factions. We'll keep our mouths shut about that for the moment.
Ooh, that's nice and green.
Zombie beavers, right?
I like the Beaver hood of steel.
Yeah, time to play Fallout again.
I'm playing Fallout 4 for like second or third time.
Yeah, questions about catapults again.
Yes. We can see, because there's a deeper thing, but it's filling up nicely, and then once it goes here, it will go down.
Another thing to talk about when it comes to playing with water is how we change the water wheels. We are now on fog days, which means that we only have access to one type of water wheels.
Yes.
But could you talk a little bit more about how the water current works right now, Jon?
Yes, we did some changes. Yes, that was it. Yeah, I forgot because it was in the experimental before. So I was like, did we add that? Did we not? Yeah. As you can see, we finally made a cycle of water going up, around, and down, and back into this water. So at least we'll have some constantly moving water. So maybe we'll be able to power those wheels, but maybe not, because that was a great segue. Because what we did is we added some the first thing we did. Water wheels are now way more dependent on the water flow. So if the water is like, we added like, I think we added CMS or something like that, but like if the water is not too strong, then it won't be just either 0 or 180. It will be 45, whatever. As you can see, we've got 99, 98 because the water is slowing down a bit. And that is because the water wheels are now, because they are a physical object and they interact with water, they now slow the stream a bit. So this, some wheels, if you put a bunch of wheels in a row with like perfectly, with nothing else, then consecutive wheels should be slower, because each wheel will slow the water a tiny bit, but enough to basically make an infinite power machine as difficult as possible to to create.
Yeah, that was a major issue for our programmer Camille, because one of the first things that our players wanted to do as soon as they saw the the new mechanized power water pump was to create a Beaver perpetuum mobile. So just to get infinite power, and we had to make so many adjustments to how the water wheels work.
Oh yeah, he was sitting at it for like weeks.
Actually, what you have now is kind of a bloated infinite power machine, but it doesn't.
I'm not sure if it's gonna work once all the water runs out. It doesn't. I don't think there's not enough, because we are having water from here. It would have to be water, like if there wasn't water coming from the river, I don't think it would work, because there isn't enough water being pumped basically. And it also it isn't at max efficiency, but it just looks cool. But yeah, I saw in the Twitch chat someone mentioned the water killing trees. Yeah, that is something that we added with the aquatic crops. All of the crops now, all of the plants now will die if they're overwatered as well, basically. So as you can see, this chestnut tree is now flooded, so it will die at some point because the roots are filled with water. It basically cannot get any more nutrients, and at some point it will die, which is something that happens in real life. So the trees, we so many people do basically just make giant water storages with trees in them, so we kind of wanted to counteract that as well, because it doesn't make sense. Obviously there are some trees, but yeah, there are swamp trees, but we don't have those in the game yet, question mark. Maybe this is something that we could add at some point, but not right now.
We are slowly running out of time, but before we go, we have quite an influx of the new players, because the game is now available with discounts on all major platforms.
Yes.
And we had some questions in our Discord for some beginner advice.
Yes.
So, what are your best three advices, best three pieces of advice for the new players, Jon?
Okay. Also, before that, because we started on the water wheels but we didn't finish, we changed water wheels when it comes to Iron Teeth, because we were talking about folktales. Iron Teeth, which I could technically, because I think we showed most of what we wanted to show here, I could load a different save and show you two different types of wheels that Iron Teeth have. So actually I can do that. I will do that. And the save is way smaller, so I can also talk about beginner's tips there. So all works out. What I want to say? So a few tips for the beginners. I think it's a very good thing to build early, to unlock early, which we do with tutorial, as a forester, because you want to have a steady influx of trees as quick as possible, because then you don't have to worry about having enough, basically. Because on some maps, there's only some trees at the beginning, so you have to quickly start thinking about new trees. I have a drought incoming, but we added two different types of water wheels. So the first type of water wheel is a compact water wheel. As you can see, it's way smaller. I will try to make sure that they build it first. Yeah, they are building it. We also have a guy right here that will be taken. His job will be lost to automation, basically, because we are building that compact water wheel. But we have to wait for it to be done. It's gonna take a second. But because it is smaller, it is half the size of the folktale water wheel. It only gets a bit less than half the power, basically. As you can see, we do it per CMS, which is cubic meter per second, which is basically the speed of water, kind of how, assuming that each block is a meter, but like it's a cubic tile per second, basically. But that would be a bit more too difficult to decode. But as you can see, we have compact water wheels, but we also have big, large water wheels. So as you can see, this one is massive. It is way bigger. It is 5x5 looking from the side. So you cannot just place it on a small like embankment like that. You have to put it way higher, and only then will it work properly. So yeah, I think I'll place one here as well. So obviously it needs a little more energy, but creates twice as much power, if not more, per the same amount of water, basically. Yeah, and you can still daisy chain those, so you can still kind of create it over the whole length of a river or width. Yes, I think that when it comes to beginners, it's just kind of following the tutorial to the T, fairly, study it, because this is everything you kind of need to start to make sure that you will survive the first drought, and then you can kind of go over. But this is something that I saw a lot of people forget is those are beavers. Build dams. A dam is a great thing to keep water in, and then because you have water in, you can continue growing trees, growing plants, and then it just all makes sense. It just all goes out from that point. This is something that is not mentioned in the tutorial because it would be difficult to kind of work it out for every single map. But yeah, building a dam fairly soon, preferably before the first drought, but after, like, before the second for sure, is crucial, I would say.
And it is always good to experiment with the dams and the water wheels, especially right now when we have the water wheels that are quite immersive in their behavior. You will discover that depending on where you place your water wheel, is it like a wide area with just one water wheel to the side, or if you squeeze many water wheels within a small area, it changes the power output, and it can dramatically improve how your settlement operates.
Yeah, basically, because now it is actually mattering how much water flow is there. So as you can see, this part of the river goes way faster than this one, so preferably I would put a water wheel right here. But maybe if I were to put a few maybe levees or dams over here, then all the water would be moving towards here, so you can kind of create your own riverbeds. What is more efficient? Water flow to energy? I mean, water flow is energy, basically. So as you can see, we are creating only 11 HP, which isn't a lot. It's something at least, but if I had to place a few more, like so, then it would create more because there's more of them, and because they're daisy chained, and will also look cool.
Like that's the most important aspect of every settlement.
Yes.
To look cool.
Yes, looking good is a vital part of every settlement. Oh no, I forgot that the water is not gonna be here. Well, that's on me. But I think they have enough to survive for the 2 days for the first drought, so. Is it more efficient? I think so. I mean, it's a bigger number. Obviously, it is too wide, but it is wider than the thing. But overall, the large water wheel is more efficient, but obviously needs more materials as well.
Do you think we can wait until this big one is finished?
The big one, it's gonna take a second, so I don't know. They are working hard on it, but it will take a second.
Okay.
But we can answer some questions still while we wait for that, basically. And then yeah, it's probably gonna be until we're finished with the drought and the water will come, which actually is gonna be good because then we can show the water spinning. Yeah, it's gonna be harder to line up those big water wheels though. You can put more than 2 side by side because of the ground attach. True, but you could always just put it on a platform. So I don't have a double platform right here, but I could. Do I want to unlock it? I mean, I'm just showing it off. I could place one here and then put another large wheel right here, and that will connect.
No, we have not written anything public about our water physics system.
Yes, I think we are using some sort of simulation based on some papers, but I would have to ask Kamil about that.
Yeah, Kamil is our chief water engineer, so he's the one to answer all questions related to how water and water physics operate.
Yeah. Double levies might be better than platforms even. Yeah, but you see, you've just improved on my design. This is all this game is about, basically figuring out better ways to create water wheels, place things. Oh, we have the water wheel, and I think we're just about to finish the drought, so we will see it in motion. Yeah, water. The drought ended. The water is moving, albeit slowly, but it's moving faster and faster. Yeah, let's see it spin. Yeah, yeah. It's slow at the beginning, but as you can see, it's now speeding up. It's creating a steady 100, which probably could produce even more if I were to place it better, but you know. Can we expect more non-regular shaped buildings? Bindtree provides. I think so. I think in general, it's a fine line between the visual design and also like game design. So it makes sense for us to make it this shape and also be a building. This is the same kind of thing with stackable buildings, because then we kind of, to make a building stackable, we need to lose some of the visual like quality, because yeah, if we were to make the farmhouse stackable, then you wouldn't see it from the top, you wouldn't see that shapes and stuff like that, so it makes it a bit more difficult, basically. But we definitely want to add more interesting buildings, so I think, yeah.
We also had a similar question about the mirrored versions of the buildings, because there are some buildings that have entrances on one side, and just like we have the lodges that come in two versions, normal and mirrored one, we might at some point have the mirrored versions of other buildings, but I think, as Pavel said in the YouTube chat, this is not the top at the top of our priority list.
Yeah, there's some things that we need to do before we can do that, basically. And some, yeah. Will water drop hide much of water flow? Currently, no. I mean, it might be faster, but I'm not sure, actually. You have to test it yourself. But there's something we also didn't mention, but the stream gauge right now also tells you the water speed, so you can also, in addition to seeing how deep the water is, you can see how fast the water is going.
Are there any plans to create some sort of a valve to release water from the base of a dam? Maybe.
Yeah, who knows? It is. I think something similar, something like that, is high on the tracker. So we know that it is something that people want. So
yeah, it's a good moment to remind everyone that the perfect place to vote on the suggestions is our public tracker. We always look at what is upvoted, what people want, and try to find some way to implement that, while also introducing the new stuff that we think will be the best from the game. And of course, it often aligns. But yeah, if you want to let us know what you think would be the best for the game and what you need the most, that the tracker is a perfect way to do this. And I will paste a link in a moment.
Yes. This is planned. Well, in the meantime, any plans of making the water crops die with too much flow? Like, probably not with water flows, but there is already in the system that if the water is too deep, then the plants will die regardless if it's a water plant or not. If there's just too much water, then yeah. Yeah, it's planned that we can group buildings, toggle them. We see it like we see a lot of those types of suggestions, so it is a bit higher on our list, but we'll see when we get to it.
Okay, I think we are out of questions at the moment, so
Yeah.
it's a good moment to cut it. Thank you everyone for joining us. And if you haven't got Timberborn yet, this is another plug of the fact that we have the game on the sales, on the winter sales.
Yes.
Whether you are using Steam, GOG, or Epic Game Store, you can get Timberborn with a 20% discount. So it's a perfect moment to get it.
The biggest discount
to
ever.
Someone you like.
Yeah, the biggest discount ever. So.
Yeah. It's a perfect opportunity, and welcome to everyone who decides to do just that, and it becomes a new Beaver engineer. We are very happy to see all of you join our Discord and other channels.
Yes. So as last things to plug, if you're watching us on Twitch, please follow us on Twitch so you can see more of our the football streams. If you're on YouTube, you can subscribe to our channel. If you're on Facebook, you can like our page, or someone just follow on Twitch. Check out our Discord. There's a lot of people there, a lot of discussions. As Michal mentioned, our tracker that has been sent. There's a link to the Discord as well. Again, we are 20% off all of the stores that we're on, so check us out. Yeah.
Thank you everyone for joining, and last but not least, happy holidays everyone.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays. So bye bye. I need to change the okay, I think I got it. Bye.